Beach bike cruisers are all over San Diego, and I have major FOMO. Every corner you turn, there's another one, and another one, and another. And besides being so cute, beach cruisers just seem super practical. Lots of people have cars in San Diego, including myself, since you need to drive and take the freeway to get to many places. But there are also many times where it'd be way easier and better for the environment to just bike instead. Since Mike and I have been living in San Diego for about 3.5 months now, I think it's about time we get bikes and make this San Diego beach cruiser dream come true. But here's the thing, I don't want to just walk into a bike store and buy one. There's choices to be made, and I want to get the right bike. The first thing I want to understand is if there are different types of beach cruisers, do different brands offer different features, or are they really all the same? I know some beach cruisers have 1 speed while others have 3 speeds or even 7. What are the use cases for buying bikes with more speeds versus less? The other things to consider are comfort level, price, and security, as well as color and accessories like baskets. I'm going to start by doing a little bit of research online, and then let's head out and look at some bikes. Okay, there are so many different brands of beach cruisers. I don't know what I was expecting, but whoa. The first thing is that I think Mike and I are going to want bikes with at least 3 speeds. It seems like it will be way more versatile for us since we're planning to ride our bikes around our neighborhood in San Diego and not just at the beach. It seems like new bikes can range anywhere from around $300 to upwards of $900, which I think is a lot for a cruiser. Some brands that stood out to me were Priority Bikes, Schwinn, 630, and Retrospec. This Retrospec bike is sold in matcha green. Oh my god, it's like calling my name. Look, honestly, color options are super important to me, and I'd love to get a bike with brown wheels, seat, and handles. I think it just looks super cute and timeless. I noticed a lot of brands have bikes in both step-through and non-step-through options, so I looked it up. Apparently, the step-through option offers riders the most upright riding position and that it's easier to mount and dismount. I really liked Priority Bikes Beach Cruiser. They claim no other beach cruiser has this level of features designed to take on the salt, sand, and water at the beach. It's on the more expensive side though, and I'm not sure we need to be spending this much on bikes. It also looks like accessories will be an added cost, so that's something to make sure and consider when selecting the bikes we'll get. I think comfort level is something that's harder to understand online, and testing bikes out is probably the best way to understand this. I did notice 630 lets you test ride their bike for 365 days with money back guarantee, which I think is pretty cool. So that was all very interesting. It looks like you can find a new cruiser bike for around $300, but the more you spend, the more comfortable the bike gets and the more customizations you'll have. For the most part, it looks like accessories will be an added cost, so that's something to consider as well. I know Mike and I want our bikes to have baskets so we can carry groceries in it or anything else we may want to carry around with us in San Diego. I also noticed that a lot of these bikes are either sold out or on back order. I read somewhere that this is still due to the influx and amount of people who wanted to buy bikes during the pandemic. That said, I know our local bike shops are actively selling beach cruisers, so I think it's about time we go to one of them, learn a little bit more about the bikes they sell and their perspective on all of these various options. It was a beautiful day in San Diego, so Mike and I walked over to one of our local bike shops in Pacific Beach called Bicycle Discovery to see if they'd let us ask them some questions about their bikes. Lucky for us, they said yes.
Does the store look a lot different than the last time we came here?
So many bikes. We've come in before in the past, and there was like one small row of like 10 bikes maybe, and now there's like
Let's look at it.
like hundreds.
I'm Chris, and this is Bicycle Discovery. We've got an excellent selection of bikes and do all kinds of service as well. Starting with the most basic bike would be like a $250 version like this. As you go up though, they're going to be a little bit nicer fit and finish. They're going to hold up longer over a longer period of time.
It was a little hard to hear the audio for these clips, so let me just summarize. When it comes down to it, the more expensive the bike is, the longer the bike is likely to last. This is both related to the materials which are used to make the bike and how it's constructed. For example, we learned 3-gear bikes are in fact more expensive than 7-gear bikes because 3-gear bikes have a more complex internal chain system. These bikes are really sturdy and can withstand a lot in their lifetime. Electra was a brand Chris highly recommended, and for good reason. Not only were they originally created in San Diego before getting bought by Trek, but they have a patent for their pedal system, which makes it hard for other bike brands to compete with when it comes to comfort. Electra also has a front wheel handbrake, which is uncommon for most cruisers. We also learned about how to keep your bike locked up safely in San Diego. The material of the bike lock is super important, and he recommended ones that were not cable style. The heavier the chain, the harder the lock is to saw through. He also recommended locking bikes up together if you are with someone else, because for thieves, breaking through multiple locks is a much more challenging project and they will more likely avoid trying for it. If you are in the market to buy a new bike, Bicycle Discovery does let you test ride their bikes, which I think is really cool. We test rode the Electra bike and it was really comfortable and super easy to ride. Afterwards, we took the bike back and did what any good person would do with a difficult decision. We slept on it. I don't exactly know where to start, but we've slept on the bike decision. We're considering both bikes that are in store as well as the ones that we saw online. I'm curious, Mike, where are you at? Like, which bike do you think we should get?
So I think we're in between two different bike brands. One that's in store was recommended and was Electra. We liked it because it was recommended by the guy that worked there and I think is a better brand, but it's a little bit higher in the cost end.
Yeah. It did have that patent that meant that it was like really comfortable, and it probably is competitively comfortable. But yeah, it is on the more expensive side. The other brand, I know the other brand that's top of mind for me at least, is Retrospect. I really like their bikes. Like I like the color options. They have good reviews. So I don't know, Mike, what do you think about Retrospect?
Yeah, I think Retrospect is great. It's way more reasonably priced. The only other considerations are that when they send it to you, you have to assemble it yourself. Whether that be yourself if you're comfortable doing that. From the reviews we looked online, some people said it was easy, some people said it was difficult, but you can bring it into store for, like, for example, our bike store would assemble it for you for roughly $80 to $100. So
then it's like if you add that cost onto the cost of the bike, it's like, are we spending the same amount kind of thing? And then we still have the cost of bike locks and baskets and that kind of stuff. So it's like, how much in total is it going to cost? And actually, I mean, the security and the baskets, that would be on top of like the bike in store too.
I think I know which one I would get.
Let's do this. Electra is going to be 1 and Retrospect is going to be 2. So on the count of 3, you can pull up the one that you're voting for. 1, 2, 3, go. I knew it!
I knew it too. I knew you wanted it.
Oh no, well, I guess
Alexa
we could
really
get...
wants her matcha green, so that was game over.
It's not about matcha green, but I do like the color options better for Retrospect, and they do have really good reviews. I'm kind of sold on that because...
Part of me thinks like, maybe we don't have to buy both bikes at once. Maybe we buy your bike first, see how the assembly goes and see how it works out, and then use that as a decision for me.
We're gonna buy one of the Retrospect bikes. Probably in a follow-up video, we can show you a little bit more about like how that goes. But for now, I think we're gonna wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't know me, my name is Alexa. I make videos here on YouTube about design, careers in tech, life in San Diego, which is where we just both moved to about 3.5 months ago. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date when I post new videos. That's all for now. Hope to see you in that next video. Bye. The question all the fans have been asking about is, how long have you been growing your stash?
Like I said, I knew this question was gonna come up in this interview. I've been growing it for about 2 weeks. So my boys Josh, Brady, Jimmy, if you guys are out there watching, you guys inspired me to let the stash go wild. So this is just the start.
This video is sponsored by Mike's Mustache.